What is up, Yankee fans? I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and we are live. We're going to post a tweet out now. We're live to talk about some news that we've got regarding the Yankee rumor mill. We have some stuff that I'm going to pull up with the Fireside Yankees Twitter page here. You guys should follow if you aren't following already. There is a lot to talk about, including the Yankees attending the pro day to scout a Max Scherzer bullpen session per Pat Ragazzo of the Ragazzo Report. You guys should follow him as well on Twitter. Now, with that being said, the Yankees have also attended the pro days of pitchers like Tyler Matzek and Lou Trivino. We'll talk about all of that and more. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and check out Fireside Yankees on all of your favorite social media pages. And of course, let's get a Let's Go Yankees chat kind of going here in the chat. And we're going to just have this ready to go, have stuff ready to talk about. We've got Tommy Rips in the chat, number 5. Did you guys hear the Yankees signed 16-year-old Manny Cedeno to a $2.5 million contract? Yeah, so the New York Yankees inked some of their international free agents finally. They did it officially. They had verbal agreements with these guys for years, if we're being honest. But they were able to finally ink these deals. Manny Cedeno, a shortstop, got the largest bonus for any player the Yankees signed in this international free agent class. He is a right-handed hitting shortstop. He is 5'11", about 170-something pounds. He has a really well-rounded profile, good bat-to-ball skills, and a glove that might be able to stick at short, but worst-case scenario, it ends up at first or second. But with that being said, we've got Christian here. Ha-Seong Kim should be Yankee. Absolutely, and we'll talk about him today. Ryan, watching Joe Caputo of the Shift 2 half an hour ago, and I told I'm hard pass on Scherzer. Yankees got a good rotation with Cole, Fried, Heel, and Rodon. Yeah, I don't think the Yankees should sign Max Scherzer to be one of their 5 starters, but it doesn't hurt to do due diligence and attend his pro day. What if he's not? What if he hasn't signed before the start of spring training, and the Yankees find out they have an injury? It wouldn't be a bad idea for them to revisit that. But with that being said, hey Ryan, how you doing? Tyler, I'm doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. Got Let's Go Yankees 3 times. Will Den, appreciate you stopping by. Right here, channel. What happened to Thor? I'm assuming that means Noah Syndergaard. He's still free agent. Should the Yankees bring him in? And no, unfortunately, he is someone who does not have the arm strength, the arm speed he had years ago. And I fear he has regressed sharply, and he's no longer the pitcher that he once was, and is no longer capable of even being a league average pitcher. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, I agree. Shouldn't get him. I don't know how to pronounce that. What's up, Ryan? Hope all is well. Any updates on what the Yankees want to do in the coming weeks in the trades department? We've got no additional information regarding any, I guess like trade targets for that being said. So with that being said, yeah, I don't really necessarily think the Yankees there's anyone new on the trade front that has popped on their radar that has been publicly reported on that we haven't even A, speculated about, or B, reported on, or not reported on, excuse me, told you guys about. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. Hey, Ryan, Matzek would be fun 2 dominant seasons that he dragged his nuts around the playoffs. I wonder if there are sneaky options if Cashman is thinking of for infield, which you got Bregman, Kim, or BD. Well, Bregman seems to be off the table, but Kim is not off the table. That has not been ruled out for the Yankees. There's no known market that has materialized there. And then, of course, there's not really any known, there's not known, I guess, trade interest in Brendan Donovan. Not to say that people aren't interested, but I guess interest from the Cardinals' perspective in trading him. So, yeah, there's that. It does feel like, the Yankees are kind of just waiting out this market, and, we'll see if things can kind of go from there. But I'm not particularly sure if the Yankees, are going to be ruled out of anything. And of course, there's always that kind of move that can come out of nowhere. I'll have to wait and see before I draw any conclusions. If I'm being honest, I just can't really. I don't know. I can't really feel like it would be a smart idea I can't judge the Yankees on their offseason until the offseason plays out. So, yeah, there's that. With that being said, what do we got here? Ryan, let's not exaggerate things about the Yankees are in serious change. No, I disagree, actually. The Houston Astros with Alex Bregman are better than the New York Yankees. That's not really an unpopular opinion. And, I want to just kind of put something out here now in regards to the American League. The American League is weak, sure, but it's relative to the National League. The New York Yankees are not a dominant team. The New York Yankees are not they're the favorites in the AL because of the roster they have. They're the favorites in the AL because of the lack of teams in the AL that have done anything this winter. So I think it's foolish when people suggest that the Yankees are just going to waltz towards the American League pennant and that they're not in serious danger of losing that top spot. They are, because there's not a lot of separation between them and teams such as the Astros, or if the Red Sox get Bregman, the separation will be thin. The margin of error for winning the American League East is not massive. It only takes one injury for the Orioles to be the best team in that league, or one guy, not playing as well as he should have been. So, it's just, it's something where, no, I think it is completely fair to say the Yankees need to, figure out a way to improve their roster before opening day. And they do have time to do that. So I'm not particularly concerned that they're not going to do it. So, yeah. I'd rather we grab Hill and either Matzik or Chafin. They think they'd be a great addition. Kim on top of that would be huge. Yeah. If the Yankees could add 2 relievers and then add a infielder in Hassan Kim, I would certainly consider that a highly successful way to finish their winter. So yeah, let's put it like this. I have no problem trading Stroman and signing Max Scherzer to put him in the 6th spot or bullpen. Just a matter of his salary. He can have great knowledge to players like Heel. Look, if Max Scherzer was open to a bullpen role or a 6th starter role, I think that would also, it just doesn't hurt to have him around. But I do think it's fair to say, and we'll start jumping into Max Scherzer here, who, we have his fan graph stuff. We have some video to utilize as well, but I do think that Max Scherzer is going to have enough interest from teams where he's not going to be looking to sign a deal where he doesn't have a guaranteed a guaranteed rotation spot or has to come out of the bullpen. So, I think it's important for the Yankees to try and find ways to improve the rotation depth, but I don't think this is going to be the avenue for them to do that. Let's kind of take a look here at his numbers last year. He had a 3.95 ERA, which, look, that's not great, but it was slightly better than league average. He had a 22.6% strikeout rate, a 5.6% walk rate. That's a 16.9% strikeout to walk percentage and a 14.6% swinging strike rate. He did a really good job of missing bats still, despite the strikeouts not being there. He struggled to put batters away. He 2 strikes often, but fastball stuff plus is dropped. Curveball isn't as good as it's been in years past. Sliders a lot. He's just losing velocity. Look at the velo here. And I hope you guys can see well. Let me know if it's tough to read or anything like that. But 92.6 miles an hour, that's not going to cut it, right? 93.9 miles an hour the year prior, 94.1, 95.4, 94.5, 94.9, 95. So since 2019, every single season, his velocity has declined. Now, I guess you could say from 2019 to 2020, it remained unchanged. But from 2020 to 2024, his velo has gone down every single year. This year, it went down from over a mile an hour by over a mile an hour. So I just really doubt that Max Scherzer is going to be as effective as he's been in years past, but he's going to be effective enough where a team is going to give an opportunity to make their starting 5. I personally think he'll end up playing for the Toronto Blue Jays. I could be wrong. There are a lot of teams who seem to have interest. Pat Ragazzo also mentioned that the Mets have interest in a 1-year deal with Max Scherzer. But again, we'll have to wait and see here. The Yankees are, again, a team that could use more pitching depth, but that's not because they have a bad rotation. It's because they don't, there's no reason to not try and get more starting pitchers if that opens up for you. So again, that's if that opens up for the Yankees. There's no way to know if that's going to open up for the Yankees. And there's no way to know if, Scherzer's truly interested in being a Yankee or if he prefers other teams instead of the Yankees. So there's just a lot that goes into that conversation. And there's a lot more nuance than just give him the top offer, make him the top offer, make him better, blah, 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 so on and so forth. With that being said, though, we have a couple of questions here about Scherzer. Scherzer's working with Eric Cressey. I think we'll bring him in. I don't think the Yankees are going to bring him in. I don't think the Yankees are going to end up getting Max Scherzer. So there's that. What do we got here? Max Scherzer, he would cost a decent chunk. I don't think it's going to be a $10 million deal. Also, by the way, the Cubs, according to MLB Bruce Levin, Cubs are getting close on obtaining Astros Ryan Presley. Technical issues on contract and family accessibility, all resolvable issues. So I assume that Ryan Presley will join the Chicago Cubs, which opens up some more payroll for the Astros to bring back Alex Bregman. Of course, that would be not great for the Yankees, but, is what it is. I prefer him with the Astros than I do with the Red Sox, if that's any cope. And what's the most I'd give Max? I don't know how much I'd give him. For the Yankees roster, I wouldn't sign him for this current Yankees roster. So there's that. For this current Yankees roster, I wouldn't sign him. I wouldn't make him a contract offer because he would take it and that would eat up money you could use elsewhere. What I would do is I would sign Ha-Seong Kim. He's probably going to cost a similar amount AAV. So there's that. I don't know if that's a hot take. Let's see what else we got here. Kim isn't expected to sign for another 6 to 8 weeks. Teams who are interested need to scout his health. Don't think the Yankees wait that long. Also, Giants, Mariners looking for infield who probably prefer there. Look, if he prefers there and the Yankees are unable to, get him to come here, then, you have to have some sort of backup plan. My point isn't that the Yankees need one specific player, that there's one specific player they need, and it would be unacceptable for them to not get that player. What I think is important to note is that the Yankees need to get a quality infielder. And if the Yankees are not going to go and get a quality infielder, they have failed the offseason. I'm sorry. They have failed the offseason if they don't get a quality infielder. First base was not as big of an issue as second base is. And for the Yankees to have not brought back Gleyber Torres on a 1-year, $15 million deal to do F-all at second base would be a disaster. It would be an embarrassment. It would be an insult to the fan base and their intelligence. It would be an insult to really everyone involved. So, I don't think there's a world where anyone should be willing to accept not getting an infielder. The Dodgers mentioned this. If their GM says something like this, and that's one of the best, if not the best front office in baseball, they said they wanted to load up now because prices at the deadline are way worse and it's way harder to get good talent. If Brian Cashman is not heeding that warning, if Brian Cashman is not operating in the same manner, or, which is also possible, by the way, this second scenario, Brian Cashman is willing to do it, but Hal Steinbrenner isn't willing to foot the bill. Whichever party is causing them to not end up, whatever party ends up being responsible for them not making a big move, not making a notable addition to the infield. If they don't make a notable addition to the infield, that person deserves a ton of blame. That person is flying against the Dodgers mentality, and you're flying against the Dodger mentality, you're going in the wrong direction, brother. You're going in the wrong direction, right? So, I fully agree. Look, if the Yankees aren't if the Yankees aren't a team Kim's interested in, can't force them to sign there, can't force them to come here, but you've got to get a quality infielder. There's no reason, there's no excuse to not go out and get one. We were promised an offseason better than getting Juan Soto. They have failed so far because they don't have an infielder. But if they get a quality one, not saying I think it's a better offseason than without Juan Soto, but I'm willing to let this team play out. And that's a different feel. That's different. Letting a team play out is so much more different than it's just different. It's just different. It's a different feel. Look, Brendan Donovan would be sick, but I think the Yankees would have to trade one of their 5 starting pitchers in order for that to happen. I think it's possible. I think it's possible if the Yankees sign a starter. I presented potentially why don't they sign Jack Flaherty, who doesn't have a qualifying offer attached to him, who the Yankees showed interest in at the deadline, who may be looking to get a short-term deal, someone that they might be able to pull in and, just flip one of their starters to get a bat. That's certainly on the table. In my opinion, that should be something that should be on the table, and ultimately, I think the Yankees would be better off with it. So, there are definitely interesting routes the Yankees could take, but we'll have to wait and see how that infield situation goes. And look, this is a scary thing. I'm kind of I fear that, the infield situation ends up being like left field in 2023, where, they didn't add that final piece and it really hurt their ability to contend that year. They didn't have any production from left field. It was negative production basically. And, it was so bad that I know Alex Rodrigo was kind of a disappointment and kind of a bust, but he was night and day better than what they had in left field last year. It's not really close. Now, as for Christian Encarnacion Strand, he's a question mark offensively, but he's an even bigger question mark defensively. I don't think he can hold his own at third. I think immediately that makes him someone that the Yankees should not be targeting because he's such a bad defensive player. At that point, you just go out and get someone like a Luis Arraez, who's a bad defender, but about as proven of a hitter as it gets on this market. I feel like the reports were scouting pitchers like Scherzer could be working on a trade involving Schmidt or Heel. I guess that's possible, but again, I'd rather sign someone like Jack Flaherty. You go out and you spend top dollar to reinforce that rotation because I view Heel and Schmidt as middle of the rotation guys. I don't view Max Scherzer as a middle of the rotation guy right now. At this stage of his career, Max Scherzer is a back-end starter. He's a 5 starter. He is not someone who should get playoff starts. I view Jack Flaherty as a number 2 or number 3 caliber starter, someone who could, fit the bill, slot right into that rotation, and be, arguably an improvement over Heel or Schmidt. I prefer Jazz at second where he can use his range and athleticism more. I think ultimately I agree. I think that I ultimately agree that Jazz Chisholm should be at second base over third base, but I'm open for him playing third. I have no problem with him playing third. I've raved about his defense before. I think his arm strength is phenomenal, but I definitely agree that Jazz at second base is just a better use of his skill set, which is range and athleticism. You want to have that somewhere. You want to have that kind of like, you know what I mean? You want to have someone like Jazz Chisholm playing a position like second base where he's going to be able to utilize that athleticism. And so, yeah, so there's that. With that being said, what do we got here? Schmidt would not be the cost for Edward Julien. If the Yankees had to trade Clark Schmidt for Edward Julien, I wouldn't be particularly interested in that. I'd be interested in Julien as a flyer, as someone we could buy low on. But again, if they're not interested in selling low on him, that'd be completely fine. I would have no problem with the Yankees doing that. So, there's that. There's that. Willie Castro from the Twins. First and foremost, I think that Willie Castro is a good fit for the Yankees. He's got good pop. He's the kind of guy who could really, I think make this team better. Good swing for Yankee Stadium. Overall, I'm just the kind of guy who, I'm pretty optimistic about what Willie Castro could provide for the Yankees in 2025. But, I could end up being very, very wrong on that front. Obviously didn't mean we should go with Scherzer. No, absolutely. I agree. I think that maybe is something that they end up doing. So, I think it's an interesting idea. Alex and I talked about this on the podcast today. It was a fun conversation. So, I'd love to kind of, see if that ends up being the avenue they go down. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Donovan's the guy. What's holding a move up on him? Is it the Stroman contract? No, because Donovan's problem isn't money. It's the fact that he costs a lot and will cost you one of Luis Heel or Clark Schmidt. And you need to be ready to replace one of those two guys with a frontline starting pitcher or middle of the rotation starting pitcher in order to justify such a trade. I know that people, I love Brendan Donovan. I think he's great, but I do understand why the Yankees would be hesitant to trade a guy who's pre-arbitration, Luis Heel, and then a guy who is, first year of arbitration or second year of arbitration with Clark Schmidt, where he has 2 more years of control, 3 years of control. Oh, no, Schmidt has 3 years of control, right? 3 years of arbitration. Yeah, 3 years of control. So, both those guys are controllable pieces. I completely understand why the Yankees are like, no, we're not going to just trade them so we could trade them. They would want to, I think they would want to supplement them in the rotation. Jack Flaherty has MRI shoulder issues. That's why the Yankees back away from trading for him. Yeah, that's why they backed away from trading for him. But again, he's might be open to a short-term 1-year deal. I'm not particularly confident that the Yankees would sign him. I just threw it out there. I'm not saying the Yankees are going to sign him. I'm not linking him to the Yankees. There's no rumored interest in Jack Flaherty and the Yankees. So, that's just me throwing shit out there and hoping it sticks. How much do you think Matzik gets? That's a great question. Coming off of 2024, let's kind of pull up Tyler Matzik's his Fangraphs page here. Matzik was someone who had a rough year last year. He had a 9.90 ERA after coming back from Tommy John surgery and missing the entire 2023 season. But look, his stuff is still above average at a 101 stuff plus, and his fastball and slider were still, right around bang on average. But the thing I think that the Yankees can help implement with Tyler Matzik is that, number one, they can get that fastball back to where it needs to be velocity and movement wise. And number two, try and see if there's a possibility for Matzik to, tinker with his pitch mix, because if his fastball isn't a dominant pitch anymore, he shouldn't be throwing it 70% of the time. He should be throwing his cutter more, which is a pitch I'm going to talk about a little bit. He should be throwing his slider a little more. He mixed in a couple of curveballs. His cutter's a pitch. It was nasty in 2020, and then he kind of went away from it for no reason. So I do wonder if that's a pitch that the Yankees could get back involved for someone like Matzik. And look, as well, one of the best big time relievers you could think of, over the last, really in recent memory. In 20 postseason appearances, he has a 1.48 ERA. He struck out 40.4% of batters faced. He has probably the most electric inning in Braves playoff history, where he struck out 3 straight Dodgers in Game 6 of the NLCS, a game they ultimately won. He escapes a big jam. I think it was runners on at second and third with no one out. And, getting out of that jam, it got the Braves to the World Series where they'd ultimately win it in 6 games. So, Tyler Matzik is someone who, $2 million, I think more like $4 million, maybe $4 million, I think is a reasonable price tag. Remember, price tag is all relative. Like, price tag is all about, things such as, what is the market at this point in time? What are people getting? Like, what are other relievers getting? And comparable relievers are getting, $2-4 million, somewhere in that range. So, Matzik, I think it would get a $4 million deal, or could get $4 million in the market. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not saying that the Yankees should 100% sign him, or that, this is the best fit in the world, but I do think this is a good fit for the Yankees, and I do think this is a good player who the Yankees should show some interest in, and they have shown interest in because they had him throwing they watched him throw in California. This did not take place at Eric Cressy's performance facility. So there's that. $5 million Scherzer, $5 million base salary. He's signing for way more than $5 million base. I'm sorry, he's signing for way more than this. Just to kind of mention this right now. And then, he's going to sign for more than that. He's going to sign for more than $5 million in terms of base salary. If they can get Heel to get his front foot down consistently on time, the kid will be an ace. Plant foot is key. Look, his fastball command is really the one pitch he doesn't like. The fastball is the one pitch he doesn't have down firmly. I feel like he has kind of everything else. Like the changeup's pretty good, and the slider is pretty good, and the command of both pitches are pretty good. So, I personally think the Yankees should focus on trying to get that fastball command down, because if that fastball command is ever average, I truly think, I agree, he'll be a frontline starting pitcher, a top 2 starter in a contender staff for sure. That kind of upside. I want Correa. I would love Carlos Correa. I don't envision the New York Yankees getting him, because I personally do not envision the Minnesota Twins being willing to trade him right now. Because why would they trade him? Why would they trade him right now? So, that's kind of where it's at. If they can get salary relief, and I think salary relief is, obviously important to the Twins, but again, I just have a really hard time imagining that the Yankees are going to foot the bill on that at this point in time. So, there's that. Yanks being cheap because of taxes, they should sign Bregman. Well, look, I've mentioned that I think Alex Bregman is a good fit for the Yankees, but I've also mentioned that I think Alex Bregman's a good fit on a short-term deal, and Alex Bregman is not signing a short-term deal anywhere. So, he's got enough, reports have come out in the last few days that have made me extremely confident in saying that the New York Yankees will not sign Alex Bregman. One of those reports being that he's got multiple offers of 5+ years. So, if the Astros 6-year, $150 million offer is still out there. I don't know about you guys, but the Yankees are not going to tie themselves to $150 million over 6 years. And that's not going to happen. Like we understand that's not going to happen. We understand why the Yankees would be concerned about paying a guy over 6 years who, is in his 30s. Like I think it's more than fair for them to have an evaluation that says that it's not good enough. Like it's not the kind of contract they should be handing out. I totally get it, man. I'm not going to sit here and debate the Yankees on a 6-year deal for a player. Like there are so many, every player sounds good when they're a really good fit for your roster short term, but it's no longer a good fit, and you no longer like the signing, and you no longer like the thought process behind it. When you're in year 3 or year 4 of the deal and the guy sucks. So I want him on a short-term deal. I still think he works really well for the Yankees on a short-term deal. And if he gets there, he should 100% be a Yankee, or I'd be extremely upset. But at this point in time, it does not seem like that's the way that, Bregman's going. And look, you could say 5 years for Bregman's much less of a risk than 8 for Fried. But, at the start of the offseason, Bregman was asking for $200 million. And, Max Fried's market developed quickly. The Yankees liked Max Fried a lot. They think Max Fried's a big need. And I do agree that the Yankees needed some help in the rotation. I think the rotation needed help. I don't think it was good enough as is. Even with Nestor there, they needed to get somebody, and they did. And I was happy that they did. I'm not happy about the contract in the sense of like 8 years. It's certainly a risk, but let's let these contracts play out, and let's let the Yankees player evaluations play out before, we criticize them for the Alex Bregman thing, when I don't even contract, the ballpark wasn't a great fit for him before 2024, where this past year it was a lot better for him. His swing tailored to that a little bit more, but we'll wait and see. Any chance he can offer prospects for Luis Garcia Jr.? Absolutely not. I don't think the Yankees will be getting Luis Garcia Jr. If they did, I'd be very happy. He's a good fit, but I doubt the Washington Nationals would trade a cost-controlled infield in a depleted infield to get prospects. That doesn't necessarily feel like the kind of thing I would support if I was the Nationals, and I don't think their GM is going to do it, nor would anyone in that organization really be big on that. I think the Yankees would want Correa. I see why they're not going to pay $33 million for a player. Like I see why they won't do it. I'm not happy about it, but. And also, I think that I think it's also fair to mention, what is the Twins' desperation to trade him? And I do agree moving him to third base would make him healthier. It takes two teams to tangle. What if the Twins are like, yeah, no, we really don't want to trade him. We want to contend this year. That could be a thing, right? That could be a thing. It would sound stupid because it's like, why do you want to contend if you're not going to, if you're not going to spend more money? But it is what it is. I feel like we should trade for Brian Hayes. I disagree. I don't love the fit with Brian Hayes unless it's completely cheap. It's better than nothing, though. It's better than nothing. The AL Central's open, man. The AL Central's open. The Twins might be the best roster in the AL Central. Like that AL Central is open. Very few teams have really done much. Like the Royals are good. The Royals have made sure to retain, but has anyone gotten better? And I think that's a fair question to ask. And the Twins, it took a historic collapse for them to not make the postseason. I wonder if they just can kind of keep it together for a little bit longer in 2025. And I also don't think I don't think the Yankees' commitment to winning should be questioned because of Scherzer, and I think it shouldn't be questioned until the end of the offseason. But I do agree that if they don't make additions, I'm going to be very upset because they should be making additions and they should be making this team better. Yankees should trade for Brendan Donovan. I agree, but does that mean again the Twins have to want the Cardinals have to want this, and the Yankees he has to be available. Hold on, sorry, he has to be available, and the it's something where it's like the Cardinals have to be willing to trade him. And what if they're not? You know what I mean? What if they're not? So they're not trying to anymore. They're not interested in an extension with him at this point in time anymore, which is quite unfortunate because, for them, I don't know why they're against it. There's no smoke at all. I don't know why people keep talking about Jose Ramirez. Like there's not a chance on planet Earth that he gets traded this winter. We haven't used the offseason to do that because Spencer Jones is a really good outfielder defensively, and that's where a lot of his value is going to come from. His best tool is his glove at this point in time, not necessarily overall offensive package. I agree they don't need Scherzer, they need a reliever first. So there's that. I see Scherzer in the pen. I think that he'll get a starting pitcher. I think he'll end up as a starting pitcher because I think a team is going to pay him to be a starting pitcher at this point in time. Let's talk a little bit about Lou Trivino because he's someone the Yankees also had not interest. Well, they have interest in signing him, obviously, but they attended his pro day. That this one took place at Eric Cressy's facility as well. Eric Cressy obviously works in the Yankee organization, so not a surprise the Yankees were there. Trivino was the Yankee in 2022, in 2023, and 2024, although he didn't pitch at the major league level in 2024 and was rehabbing in all of 2023. Now, look, Lou Trivino, I would love to have him back for cheap because I think his stuff is gross. Great sync P. Let's get a video up. Let's get video examples, folks. We love video examples out here. Don't we love video examples, guys? Please make me feel good about myself and say you guys love video examples. We've got, this is one of his saves from back in 2022. Pitched his balls off in this game. But he's got sick stuff, man. His sinker is gross. Cutter is sick. Sweeper is disgusting. He could throw a changeup and a four seam. Look at that slider, man. That's disgusting. That's a beautiful sweet P. He's got sweepers that can, average, that can get up to 20-something inches of horizontal break. Look at that cut P. Just absolutely jams. I don't even know who's playing right field at that point. Good sinker, 97. I mean, the stuff has always been gross. It's a question of what it's going to look like post-surgery and all these setbacks. I don't think he's ever going to throw our average 97 miles per hour again, but I do think he could sit, 94, 95 and still be effective because he just has such a wide array of pitches in his arsenal. I would do this as well. One for $4 million. And, maybe, or I think it'd cost less than that because he hasn't pitched at the major league level. He might have to sign a minor league deal. So, yeah, that is Marwin Gonzalez. I was like, man, who is that guy? That is 100% Marwin Gonzalez. So, let's take another look. Is that Marwin Gonzalez, guys? That's Marwin Gonzalez. So there's that. Am I wrong for thinking? I think he'd be good to have on the bench, but I don't necessarily think he's a starting pitcher. So yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think he's a starting pitcher. So yeah, I hate to be that guy, y'all. I hate to be that guy, y'all. I really do. But he's a bench piece. He's not a starter. So no, he's not a starter right now, in my opinion, for the Yankees. Based on the current roster, he would start, but he shouldn't be a starter on the Yankees. Tim Hill's probably asking for like $18 million for 2 years. Like, if we're being honest, that's what he should be asking for. He should be asking for that. So, I don't think this idea, I think this idea that the Yankees are like being super cheap and not paying Tim Hill, like, I think it's a little overblown because Tim Hill's probably asking for more money than you guys think he's asking for. That's why he hasn't signed with anyone yet. No one has signed Tim Hill. The Mets were in, they didn't sign Tim Hill. The Dodgers could have used another lefty. They haven't signed Tim Hill. If they sign Tim Hill, I'll kill myself. There are a lot of teams who need bullpen help and have money and have not signed Tim Hill. So, yeah, there's that. I don't think Tim Hill's asking for a little bit. I think he's asking for a lot, and it's a number that 30 MLB teams aren't comfortable paying at the moment. I think it's an indication of where we're at right now with that market. Someone to the O's, maybe. I don't think the Baltimore Orioles would do it. Would love for that to happen, but I don't think the Orioles would do it. So there's that. Why are the Yankees waiting so long to sign a lefty? As I just not ranted about, but mentioned earlier, or just now, honestly, it just doesn't make sense to get a lefty. That doesn't make sense to get a lefty. It doesn't make sense for a player to be affordable and at the price that everyone wants him at, and also be someone that the Yankees are, and also be someone that isn't signed. If you're in a price point where teams will sign you, you'll get signed. It's usually how that goes. Apologize if the stream is laggy, guys. I apologize for that. Signed Bregman on a short-term deal. Unfortunately for myself, probably not happening, guys. Probably not happening. Stroh's, that makes sense. The Stroh. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. With that being said, though, we're going to start wrapping things up pretty soon. We're going to keep it around, the 40-minute, 45-minute mark. So just make sure you guys start submitting some of your final questions here if you have any. But with that being said, I really do think that I really do think that this market's going to move soon. I do. I mean, I'm being very optimistic here. So yeah, we'll see. I wonder if the Ryan Presley trade opens a door to bringing back Bregman for the Astros. There's that. We'll see where that market moves. I guess it's better Houston than Boston. I guess that's the best way to put it because you want to win your division. So, and the Yankees, they can still make moves and figure out ways to improve their roster. And so, yeah. Look, I wouldn't mind if the Yankees sign a player and it's cheap and it's a reliever. I'm going to tell you that guy is going to be pretty freaking good because the Yankees do really well with relievers. They've always done well with relievers. I'm not one to believe that the New York Yankees should be concerned about, I don't think the New York Yankees should be concerned about, we should be concerned about the New York Yankees' ability to acquire bullpen talent. They are so freaking good at this. They do it every year. They always build good bullpens. And this year they actually have, a decent investment in Devin Williams anchoring, the top of that lineup. Jace Young, that's a great question. Let's actually talk about Jace Young a little bit. Jace Young is a prospect with the Tigers, and Jace Young could, I guess, get moved. They got Bregman. Now, I don't think they're going to get Bregman. I think the Astros will at this point in time. But again, we'll wait and see. Look, Jace Young is someone who, in the minor leagues this year, good slug, good on base skills, good bat to ball skills, not too much swing and miss, doesn't hit the ball incredibly hard in terms of his ability to pull the ball. He pulled the ball a ton in the minor leagues. Let me pull up a little something here called the Realist Muto app. It's basically this shiny app that allows us to look at some percentile data and for the minor leagues. AAA data is public. It's just that this stuff can now be synthesized into percentile scores, and you can get some pretty fun information. So we're going to share this tab now. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So if we look at Jace Young in AAA, what did he do bad and what did he do well? Let's talk about the positives first. A lot of pulled fly balls, really good swing decisions, didn't chase a lot, and attacked the zone often. So really good swing decisions, good damage rates, good pulled fly ball rates, and a high max EV. So from a damage perspective, game power, slugging percentage, even arguably batting average, I think he should do pretty well in those categories. My concern, the strikeouts, 19% zone contact rate. Now he does make a lot of contact against secondary pitches compared to the average. It's a little bit weird, but he doesn't make a ton of contact in zone, but I think that's fine because of how often he tends to swing in the zone. I think that balances itself out by being someone who's aggressive in zone and is going to attack those pitches. I do think he could have some major league success. My biggest concern in terms of his overall profile is his defense. His defense leaves a lot to be desired. He has a -3 outs above average and -6 DRS in 190 innings at third base. I've never scouted him personally, so I can't sit here and look and say, he's someone who I've watched play defense and he looks like crap out there. But, we don't have enough data to suggest that he's an encouraging defender at third base. Perhaps he's better suited for second base. That would be a wait and see situation. I definitely think Yankee Stadium is a ballpark that fits his skill set well. That's something that I obviously value a lot. And, with that being said, I don't necessarily view myself as like Jace Young's biggest super fan, but I also don't view it as like the Yankees got Jace Young, I'm super pissed. They'd be like, hey, that's an interesting addition. I think this could work out. He's a young player, that kind of stuff. And again, the bat kind of works at Yankee Stadium. He pulls a good amount of his fly balls. Those fly balls probably get out here. DJ LeMahieu won't get a starting job. I agree. Even if the Yankees don't get an infielder, which would be a nightmare scenario, and I throw up in my mouth, I think Cabrera would get the job over him. I'll be so upset if he's gonna be on the roster regardless if they add someone or not. I'm gonna be honest. They're gonna add someone. They're going to add someone. So, yeah, there's that. Correa seemed like what we need. We need to play. He's perfect. He's perfect for us. He's perfect. It's just that I don't necessarily think the Twins are super interested in trading for him, and I don't think the Yankees are going to end up getting him. And I would love Andrew Nardi. Alex and I talked about this on an episode. If you guys could check that out on the Fireside Yankees page, it'd be great. But he is truly, truly an excellent reliever, a really good fit for the Yankees, and someone who the Yankees should display interest in trying to trade for. But of course, all depends on price. You don't know what the team is asking for. You don't know what the Marlins are asking for. And I'm not going to sit here and criticize the Yankees for not pulling off a trade when I don't know what the other team is asking for, or if said player is even on the table. I think they shock the fan base and try to go for Correa. Twins try to put his salary up around $26 million. It'll cost at least 2 top 10s to the minors like Arias and Warren, plus Hamilton and Oswaldo. I don't think Oswaldo Cabrera would be part of this deal because I think the Yankees would prefer to have some infield insurance depth. But I absolutely do think that, Will Warren's a player that they would like, or Ian Hamilton. I think one thing they should do is to, try and figure out a way to, they should just be aggressive with their offers for a guy like Correa. I'm not sitting here and saying that the Yankees are going to get him, but I'm sure they've tried. I'm sure they've asked. I'm sure they've figured out, what their Twins would ask for, how interested they are in dealing him. I'm sure the Yankees have a better understanding of his market and the situation there than we do right now. Peraza, baby, I don't think he's going to start either. I also don't think he's going to start. So, yeah, there's that. I'm betting the Yankees get someone we're not talking about. I agree. David Peraza is not the answer at third, nor is DJ. I don't think David Lawrence is arguing that. I think he's just making, poking fun at the fact that might be it. So think Peraza and DJ would be great depth. I think Peraza is a good depth piece. I don't think DJ is a good depth piece. I don't think he's very, very good. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't think he's very, very good. I have a problem starting Peraza. You may not, Drew, and I hope you're right about this, but I don't think that. I don't think he's a good starting. I don't think he's a good starting option for the infield, nor do I even really want him highly involved with the Yankees unless they get Ha-Seong Kim, which would require them, of course, to have a month without him. So, there's that. DJ should probably retire. I'm going to be honest with you guys. He absolutely should retire. So, yeah, there's that. I could be wrong. With that being said, we're going to start wrapping up in the next few minutes. So just sending in your final questions. I would like to see Peraza, but if he sucks, it is what it is. Look, I would like seeing him on the bench over DJ LeMahieu. So there's that. What contract could you see Ha-Seong Kim getting if we signed him? A 2-year, $30 million deal with an opt-out. High chance CJ gets DFA'd, IMO. I think he will get DFA'd mid-season. DJ will be the Yankees' next great hitting coach. If he's someone who the players respect, for sure. What I do think the Yankees should consider doing is maybe bringing in someone like Anthony Rizzo as a coach, because I think as a coach, Anthony Rizzo gels with the guys, and, he's a dude. He's also really good at teaching first base defense, apparently. What John Birdie was able to do, and Oswaldo Cabrera able to do, that's unbelievable. The trade for Correa would be great, but the Yankees have to trade Stroman if a trade's possible. Yeah, they would have to move Marcus Stroman in order to move, get anyone with significant payroll on them or salary attached to them. I firmly agree. I agree. I think that's definitely, fair. I ain't a fan of bringing back old players who moved on for a reason. I don't know which player that is. What player was that I mentioned? Presley might get traded to the Tigers. I have not seen that, but I saw that was a rumor. I'm not sure if that's still on the table. I think Arenado's a bad fit. I just think he's a bad fit for the ballpark. It's not even that I think he's a bad player. I think he's a good player or a decent player for the right team, but the Yankees ballpark does not play well for him at all. It's not a good fit. It is a really bad fit for Yankee Stadium. Let me use evidence. Let me not just say things. Let me not just make claims, because the people of this stream do not deserve just claims. They deserve data-backed or data-supported information. Let me pull this up. Also, just now, I'm going to check on that report. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just find that interesting. We're going to share this tab. Okay, so let's pull up Nolan Arenado. And let's pull up St. Louis, where he played. It would be, just as bad for him as St. Louis was. And St. Louis has been terrible for Nolan Arenado. Let's compare it to some other ballparks. Washington would be better. San Francisco would be better. Chicago would be better. Philly would be better. Minnesota would be better. Tampa Bay would be better. Even Detroit would be a better ballpark for him to hit. These are some off. Let's see Seattle. I know, now, granted, these don't factor in for weather conditions. Seattle would be Nolan Arenado. It's a bad fit, guys. It's a bad fit. It's not a good fit for the ballpark. If he was free, completely free, and the Yankees got a reliever on top of it, maybe, man, maybe. If they could trade Stroman and get Arenado and John King, maybe, man, maybe. But it's just not a good fit. You look at his numbers at home. He actually had a better WRC plus at home than on the road. So maybe it's possible for him to hit at Yankee Stadium. But again, it's just not a fit that I necessarily think works for the Yankees. Yeah, I think the collision really took his prime out of him. I would also rather have Correa than those guys. I think Correa would be the best fit. And trade Stroman to the Cardinals for Arenado. Look, I think Arenado for Stroman works for me, but, the bat just doesn't play here. I think the glove would be great, but the bat doesn't play here. That's really the big thing for me. With that being said, though, let me know what you guys think, in the comment section below regarding, this situation with the Yankee infield, with the Yankee pitching market. And, I'm going to take in some final questions here. I will look at this, the spray chart in Yankee Stadium. This is a WOBA estimator. This is a little bit different than just a spray chart. But let's see, Correa. He would have been better in Seattle than he would have been here. It's just the Yankee Stadium is not known for being a great ballpark for hitting because it's just all these balls that aren't expected to be hits at Yankee Stadium. So, it's a tough ballpark to hit in. It is. It's not an easy ballpark to hit in, but I think Correa is a good fit because of his ability to go the opposite field. Could he, take some of these pulled fly balls and push him here and get him to the short porch? He absolutely could, because he played 86 games out of 4.3 WAR, and I would totally do that. I would be all in on that. So there's that. That's how things stand with me right now. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying, that the Astros asked Presley if he would waive his no trade clause to the Tigers. Correa or Donovan? Correa. I would not like McMahon very much. McMahon's not particularly I'm not particularly a big fan of his fit. I don't think McMahon makes sense. He's been a below average hitter every single year, basically. So at that point, just go get Nolan Arenado. I don't even love that. Go Dodge repeating. I hope you guys don't repeat and that we win the World Series. So yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I know they're putting up a statue of Mark Burley. But appreciate you guys tuning in and checking out Fireside Yankees for tonight's stream and spending time here. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out the podcast. Check out Fireside Yankees on all of your favorite social media pages, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, or, of course, the YouTube page. And check out EmpireSportsMedia.com for all of your favorite written content. We appreciate you guys sticking by for this stream. We'll see you guys in the next one. We'll be streaming again this weekend. Peace out, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Have a safe Friday night. Peace, y'all.